What's going on, guys? It's your boy J28TV. I'm back with another banger for y'all. It's been a little bit, but I'm glad to be able to get back in front of the camera. I did quickly want to say thank you guys so much for getting my what if bending video to 23K. You guys might not think it, but leaving likes and comments on the videos really helps the YouTube algorithm boost our videos. So if you guys could quickly drop a like and subscribe for this video, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get into today's topic. Why did Dragon Ball Z, and Akira Toriyama for that matter, do my boy Vegeta so dirty? Goku gets all the shine. Some of the side characters even get shine. Like obviously not Yamcha, we talked about that, but man, they just did not do Vegeta justice. Like he's one of my all-time favorite characters. I got him tatted on my body. I don't even know if y'all can see it. Vegeta tatted. We're gonna talk about Vegeta's origins, kind of some of his highs as a character, some of his really low lows as a character, kind of where he ended at the end of Z, and then Vegeta's legacy, how people received it, how he was received in the show. We're gonna really dive into everything. So to understand Vegeta as a character, it's only right that we kind of have to go all the way back to his origins and when he was a young child. So Vegeta, he doesn't let you forget it, he says it all the time, is the prince of all Saiyans. That being said, his father, King Vegeta, you know, the planet was named after him. There's all this sort of Saiyan pride that comes from Vegeta being, you know, sort of raised under royalty. But with that being said, the Saiyans were enslaved by Frieza and his army. And so I think that led to a lot of pride for Vegeta, you know, like it's this extremely powerful warrior race, but they're enslaved by this little weird alien looking lady thing, right? Like a little ladybug guy. I think kind of that sense of Saiyan pride was instilled in him from a very young age. He is a very powerful person in general, but I think that a lot of his pride can be accredited to that. They were kind of sent off to other planets, the stronger younglings or whatever, I don't even know what you call it, like a baby Saiyan, but they were sent off to essentially conquer and destroy planets, take their resources. And so Vegeta and Nappa did that. We see them together in the beginning of the series, and that's kind of how they ended up doing that. Enslaved, sent off, conquer planets. You get the gist. Moving into the Saiyan saga, the very first saga of Dragon Ball Z. All the way up and through Dragon Ball, you know, we see King Piccolo, we see Goku is kind of able to overcome every challenge, and it kind of has this lighter tone to it. You know, transitioning into Dragon Ball Z, you know, it was noted that Akira Toriyama wanted to take a little bit more of a darker tone and appeal to his show so that it would be able to be promoted to a wider audience, you know, an older audience, teens, to make more money and be more interesting. Goku arrives, makes quick work of Nappa, but there's kind of this undertone, and you can kind of tell the way that Vegeta's, you know, kind of talking to Nappa and the way that he barks at him and controls him, that he is top dog and he's the man. You can tell he's never really probably been challenged in his life before other than, you know, maybe Frieza, but that's seen as like the upper echelon, and like no one can even touch him. He's like God essentially. And so like Vegeta, you know, he's not used to losing. So when we see that first kind of matchup between Goku and Vegeta, you know, Vegeta's shocked and he's never really had his pride touched. You know, a lot of the running gag almost in Dragon Ball Z is Vegeta calling Goku like trash, lower class Saiyan, lower trash, all this stuff, right? And again, that stems all the way back to, you know, Goku was seen as a weakling Saiyan baby and was sent off to another planet to essentially try and conquer Earthlings that are seen as, you know, close to nothing, have like no battle power, right? And Vegeta is sent off to conquer strong planets, and he's royalty in this whole thing. So that is essentially where we start with the embarrassment of Vegeta, right? Like loses to this lower class in his eyes Saiyan, and he's essentially humbled, you know, is spared even also his life by Goku for the first time, kind of has to go off, lick his wounds, and figure out what he's gonna do next to exact his revenge. We do kind of also get introduced to this whole kind of dynamic between Gohan and Vegeta. Like later on in the series, Vegeta actually has a lot of respect for Gohan, and he actually thinks that he's probably the potential to be the strongest out of all of them, and he kind of like notices this latent ability within Gohan from very early on. But at that time, it was kind of embarrassing again, like had his life spared, got stomped by, well, Goku did a lot of damage on him with the Kaioken and then the Spirit Bomb, but essentially he ends up getting stomped out by a Great Ape Gohan, and yeah, has to leave, lick his wounds, and figure out what he's doing next. So then transitioning into the Frieza saga. Vegeta's kind of an asshole during this time. He just got stomped out on Earth. He kind of befriends them a bit because they run into bigger problems, so it's kind of like a common enemy type deal, more so than him just like turn into a nicer guy at first. Again, like Vegeta's having his moment. He gets to Namek, he starts stomping out some of Frieza's men, like he got a nice little Genkai boost. This little Z boost starts stomping out some of Frieza's men that previously could have given him problems when he was younger at another time. So that was cool. Like this is what they do every single time. It's like, oh, Vegeta's getting cool, humbled. Powering up, humbled. Every time. And then right after that, enter the Ginyu Force and Recoome. Absolutely dog walks Vegeta, right? Like absolutely just stomps the dude into the dirt, almost has him dead. Breaks Gohan's neck, does damage to the team, does damage to Vegeta's pride, knocked the peg down. Even worse than that, enter Goku. Goku's been training. He's training on the ship. First of all, that's one of my all-time favorite side quests to have you of any anime ever, is like watching all the clips of Goku training on, you know, on the ship on 100 times gravity. He shows up, makes easy work of Recoome, you know, hands out senzu beans to the gang, and, you know, kind of takes on the Ginyu Force. And Vegeta is just in shock, super embarrassed, and is like, man, like my dream was to become this Super Saiyan warrior, and here it is again, this lower class trash dude coming out of nowhere and kind of taking my glory and my shine, my birthright as he calls it. And not only does he do that with Recoome, but then Vegeta is killed essentially by Frieza. Before I died, I got stomped by Frieza, and I begged essentially and cried to Goku to be able to defeat him, and I know he's the only one that can do it. And then he dies, comes back to life, and is met with the fact that, oh my god, not only is he fighting, you know, on par with Frieza, but he also became a Super Saiyan. Before he's even able to do anything, he is transported back to Earth, and, you know, Goku and Frieza have their, you know, famous 5-minute, but was actually 3 hours worth of fight on Namek. Transition again. Now we're post Frieza. Vegeta trains his butt off. You know, he's trying to train at 300 times Earth's gravity, 500 times Earth gravity. Like, he's working his body into the ground. Bulma starts coming into the picture, and like he's becoming a little bit more earthenized, if that's even a word. But yeah, he's just training so hard to get stronger and work towards becoming a Super Saiyan. And then what happens? Working up again. Enter Trunks. Future Trunks comes. You know, Frieza ends up not dying, having died versus Goku, and, you know, turns into Mecha Frieza, comes to Earth trying to exact revenge. And lo and behold, Future Trunks comes, slices Frieza up real quick like some filet mignon steak, and then Vegeta is left again like, oh my god, just when I thought I was getting closer and catching up, here comes this other random dude who I don't know, that's just this unknown Super Saiyan that's able to do what I wasn't able to do again, on top of the fact that Goku was already able to do it. So, you know, a little bit of added shame there. Vegeta has this dream where he's trying so hard and powers up as best he can, but Goku and Trunks are just in Super Saiyan, and it's something that he's not able to do, and it just outshines him, and he's kind of tormented by that shame of like trying so hard but just not being able to be powerful enough, although it was supposed to be like his given birthright that he's the strongest in the universe and the leader of the Saiyans, right? You know, that was down. Okay, he's down. Now transition into Super Saiyan breakthrough. So here we go, right from the bottom back to the top. Akira Toriyama just hates Vegeta, but, you know, here he goes. He actually ends up being able to unlock Super Saiyan. He just says, you know what, F it, I don't care about anything anymore. I don't care about Super Saiyan, I don't care about Goku. You know, he has this really dope crying moment on this random planet. You know, meteor shower is trying to kill him, and everything snaps, and he becomes Super Saiyan. Cool, boom, right back up there. Breakthrough moment. And at that time, he actually was stronger than Goku. He was probably the strongest person that we had seen to this point in the show. Vegeta's actually even able to save Goku's life. You know, Goku gets diagnosed with the heart disease. He ends up taking the medication, so it doesn't end up killing him, but he is still nerfed, essentially, when he's fighting Android 19. And, you know, here comes Vegeta to save the day, knocks Android 19 and absolutely violates him, blows him to bits, saves Goku, and then they go off to find Dr. Gero, who's run off, right? Vegeta has this badass moment where he's the strongest Super Saiyan, all this, yeah, awesome, boom, we're here. Right shortly after that, you got the Android 18 moment. God damn it, the Android 18 moment. That is like one of the most embarrassing moments that I could probably imagine from the show. Maybe not the show. Yamcha still exists, but it's definitely really bad, and it's definitely his probably most embarrassing moment. I would say if Vegeta was a real person, you sat him down, you asked him, Vegeta, what was the most embarrassing thing you ever experienced? He would probably say the Android 18 thing, if his pride even let him bring it up at all. But yeah, okay, you know, Vegeta's powered up. He thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. Goes, fights Android 18, if you even want to call it a fight, and gets his arm broken, embarrassed. She doesn't even kill him, kisses Krillin, and bounces out of there. Knocked right down a peg. But then here we go. The cell stuff starting to get going. Goes in the hyperbolic time chamber. Gets stronger. So boom, Android 18 gets knocked down here. Oh, what are we doing again? Vegeta's getting built up. Hyperbolic time chamber. Goes, violates stage 2 cell, imperfect cell, right? Like, stage 2 cell was supposed to be the man. Like, you know, he was doing his thing. Vegeta comes, Super Vegeta, right? Like, oh man, he's the man. He's been in the hyperbolic time chamber. Comes, shows up. He's like, yo, I'm the man, but just so you know, my son is also him as well. That was a dope scene. Vegeta whoops imperfect cells. Has some of like one of the coolest scenes that I can remember from anime, right? That's one of my favorite fights in DBZ period. Boom, Vegeta's up here, the man. Then his pride gets too much for him. Like, right, he doesn't even get knocked down. He kind of knocks himself down. Like, the writing, like, they hated Vegeta so much that they couldn't just knock him down. They had to have him knock himself down a couple times, which is crazy, right? So boom, I think I'm the man. I just whooped you so bad. I'm gonna let you become perfect, and I want to fight you at your best potential, essentially, at your best. You're talking about when I'm perfect, I could do this and that. Let me see if you're him. Worst mistake he could have ever made. Cell becomes perfect, much to Trunks' chagrin. He even tries to fight his dad to prevent that from happening. Anyways, Cell becomes perfect. We get a really dope scene where Vegeta kind of coerces Cell into letting him full power final flash him, right? Gets his whole body blown off, but he has Piccolo cells, regenerates, absolutely dog walks Vegeta, embarrasses him, and kind of for the rest of DBZ, it pretty much just gets worse and worse for Vegeta from there. That was kind of his peak and his shine, was like, you know, fighting Imperfect Cell, because Imperfect Cell was the strongest character that we had seen at that point. Vegeta had so many ups and downs throughout the series to get to that point, become super strong, and yeah, like I said, it's just like pretty much down from there. After Imperfect Cell, he has to essentially sit there and watch Goku fight Perfect Cell. They can barely even keep up with the fight, they're so fast, and he just realizes like, wow, Goku's in like a whole nother league for me. We both had the same amount of time that we trained. Goku actually and Gohan took a day less of training to rest, which is something Vegeta never does, which is why he's not able to be as strong as the rest of them. Shortly after that, he has to also watch Gohan, a child. He was like a teenager, 12 or 13 years old at that time, I forget, go Super Saiyan 2, which is something that he was unable to do, and he wasn't even able to get to Goku's level. Super embarrassing. Sure, it was a hit to his pride, and he's like, okay, not only is Goku lower class trash, but now his half-breed human son was also able to do something that I would never have even dreamed of being able to do. And actually, Vegeta even brings up this moment later on in the series when he becomes Majin, which we're gonna talk about in a second. Now moving on to the Buu saga. Here we go again. Vegeta, is strong. Like, it's shameful because he had so much hatred in his heart from the, the Gohan stuff that I just talked about and the ups and downs from the series so far. And also just Vegeta realizing that, man, like, a lot of my strength was driven from rage and, wanted to be the best, and I'm becoming soft and complacent on Earth. Let me just succumb to the evil and let myself be controlled so I can be powerful, because honestly, the only thing that he cared about at that time was becoming stronger than Goku. And also, quick side note, when they were fighting Babidi's monsters, Vegeta realizes how strong Goku has become, because when he releases his power and blows up that monster, Vegeta's like, damn, if he was able to release that much amount of power to blow him up like that, how much does he have in the reserve? Vegeta realizes that Goku was stronger than him. So that's another motive why he let himself be taken over. I thought that was important to note. One of the biggest embarrassments that it comes to Vegeta, a lot of people don't talk about it a lot, is, he succumbed, let himself be controlled by Babidi's magic to obtain Super Saiyan 2 level strength when he became Majin, fights Goku, thinks he won, goes off, does this honorable thing of like blowing himself up for his family and friends to, essentially think he kills Buu. But 2 seconds after he blows himself up and has this whole like famous monologue, Buu comes right back, is like bouncing around, eating chocolate and all this stuff like he used to do. Vegeta's dead, and oh and behold, Goku was hiding Super Saiyan 3 where he could have absolutely violated Vegeta. And so like that whole thing, it was just, while that is one of my favorite scenes, it's probably one of the most embarrassing and disrespectful things that was done to Vegeta in the series. And that's something also that he brings up later on in the series, like, oh, Goku, I saw in Otherworld you go Super Saiyan 3 versus when you went to go talk to Buu. Like, that wasn't cool, basically. Then, at the end of the series, Goku and Vegeta have this whole thing where obviously Vegeta never wanted to work with Goku. He always, like, Saiyans in general just kind of have this independent thing where, like, they like to fight. They're obsessed with fighting and they like to go off their own abilities, and they kind of don't like fusing. But, they have these different moments where they fuse, fight Buu, all this stuff. But ultimately, at the end of the show, Vegeta has this epiphany moment where famously he's like, you know what? Goku, you got it, bro. Essentially, you're him. I get it. I've tried my best possible to do all these different things, but you're just him, and I give you the crown. So I guess even Vegeta himself got tired of getting done dirty by the writers, by Akira Toriyama and Toei Animation, but I digress. Probably his biggest embarrassment and, lowest moment is during the original Broly movie, where he just becomes a coward essentially and is like, wow, Broly's just so strong. I don't even know why you guys are even fighting him in the first place, which was super out of character. I get it. Like, the writers were trying to show, prove a point to how powerful Broly is, that it was just, this super prideful dude that never backs down from anything is just shaking in his boots. I get that, but that's just so out of character and just kind of disrespectful to Vegeta's character and who he's been for like 20 years in the show, you know what I'm saying? And then also just there's other ways that the writing just kind of did Vegeta dirty. If you look at the whole history of the show and like even the manga, Vegeta doesn't get Super Saiyan 3 ever. He cheated to get Super Saiyan 2 level strength at first. In Super, he cheats to get Super Saiyan God. He does not unlock that on his own. And in GT, again, although not canon, he doesn't get Super Saiyan 4 on his own either. Goku kind of naturally like, unlocks it from his pure heart, like rage, all this whole thing, right? But Vegeta gets hit with the Blutz waves or whatever to unlock it. So there's been kind of this whole history of just Vegeta not ever being given justice. And there's even something I was able to find where Akira Toriyama directly kind of says that Vegeta's really not his favorite character. Vegeta was brought into the show to be Goku's foil, essentially. You have this pure-hearted, goofy, lighthearted, lower-class Saiyan that becomes all-powerful and like levels up kind of off of the strength of trying to protect his friends and loved ones and kind of live selflessly in that. And then on the other hand, you have Vegeta, who's extremely prideful, selfish, operates off his own whim, independent, dark-hearted, and has this kind of inner evil that it works really well as a rival and foil to Goku. But just Goku gets every power up in the book and every opportunity to show how cool he is, and all his friends rely on him. While on the other hand, Vegeta just never kind of received that love, and the writing just kind of does him dirty. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. I think I made some pretty valid points. With that being said, guys, please hop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Dragon Ball Z did Vegeta dirty? Do you agree with some of the points that I made? Did I leave anything out? Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys' continued support on the channel. I intend to be posting a lot more through the summer. I'll have a lot more time to really lock in and focus. Thank you guys so much again for all the continued support. J2A TV out.
Too many times I feel like I'm out of love. Is you really rocking with me or is it a dub? I ain't playing with you, don't you treat me like a scrub. You could be my queen, you with it.